Maybe a year or two prior to being diagnosed, I was on the pill, and I was bleeding easily if I didn't take the pill at the exact same time every day. And so then they decided it was endometriosis. So a year prior to diagnosis, year and a half, they put me on the pill, a birth control pill, for 365 days a year. So therefore I wouldn't get a period at all. And then I was diagnosed in the end of March. So right before that, I went or I didn't go in, but in November, I started bleeding through the birth control pill. And then it was, first it was once a month, then it went to every 2 weeks, then it went to every week, and then it was daily bleeding with cramps. So I went into the doctor. She found abnormal cervical cells. And so we had I can't remember the name of it, where they cut cells off your cervix and send them in. Instead of just a swab, they actually take a piece of material. And they just saw something. My mom is a cytotechnologist, which is the study of cancer cells. So I was able to get the slides and send them to her, and we would look through them together, the microscope slides. And then the doctor said, well, it's not cancer cells yet. They're precancerous. We think it's just cervical. Come back in a year and it should go away. Well, of course, my mom didn't like that answer. So I sent an email. I said, no, I am not going to live this way. And so she said to ease my mind, she would send me to a specialist. The specialist, obviously, I was a red flag, meaning that I didn't have the typical characteristics of endometrial cancer. So he said, well, we'll do an endometrial biopsy. And within 3 days, he called me back and said it was cancer. And from there, I was up at Cancer Care Northwest within the next week. I had a CT scan, a colonoscopy, a couple other tests, went back up to Cancer Care, had a couple more tests. So from diagnosis to surgery, it was 3 weeks. And then if it's going to happen to me, it's going to happen to me. So then I ended up with an infection. And then where the lymph nodes didn't have the liquid from where the lymph nodes were, didn't have a place to go, it started filling up my stomach area, abdomen. So I had to have those drained 3 times and then have an actual drain put in. And then because of the infection, I had so many different antibiotics. I blew all the lines in my arms and all the veins, and ended up with what's called a PICC line, which is a catheter that will directly place the medicine where it needs to go. And I ended up with a DVT. Ended up with a DVT, which was a deep vein thrombosis, which is a blood clot in the arm. And then I was going every 3 months for a year and a half, and then I did every 4 months the last 2 times, and now we're up to go to the Cancer Care Center every 6 months.